Just over a year after the release of the first game, Budokai 2 was released. This time you can luckily choose the English dub, which I am familiar with, unlike the Japanese dub. The game also looks much better thanks to the cel-shaded graphics, which made their first appearance in the GameCube version of the first game. The game has largely remained the same, as you can still play as your favorite characters from the show, transform into the Super Saiyan and use your ki for powerful attacks. What's new is the story mode, now told in the Dragon World. This no longer has the enjoyable cutscenes and is now a board game in which you loosely follow the events of Dragon Ball Z, though this does also include the Buu saga. Each saga is represented by a different game board, and you don't have to fight alone as Goku, as you can call in the help of allies. The board is not only filled with enemies, but also money, capsules and Dragon Balls. While I appreciated this change in the beginning, it quickly became boring and tedious, as you often have to fight through numerous Cybermen before you can fight the main villains of the saga, dragging this mode out for far too long. And since this lacks any interesting cutscenes, this makes it inferior to the story mode of the first game. What is great though is the introduction of fusion characters with Gotenks and Vegito, and there are also some hilarious what if fusions that never happened in the show, with Tien and Yamcha fusing into Chencha and Hercule and Goku fusing into Gokule. Though you can't select these from the menu screen, and these are only available by equipping the required skills. Aside from fusing with other characters, you can also absorb players' powers with the newly playable Super Buu. Overall, the character roster is much larger than that of the first game, with a total of 31 playable characters, including fusions, though a few characters have been removed, such as Android 19, Dodoria, Zarbon and Kid Gohan. And Frieza and Cell are no longer able to transform, though Frieza still has a spaceship. These omissions seem unnecessary, especially since it seems like little effort to include these features in the game, though there might be an understandable explanation for their omission. Still, it is nice to finally be able to play as characters from the Buu saga. Aside from Dragon World, the World Tournament and Dueling mode make a return that luckily don't have the horrendous loading screens that were present in the first game. And when you complete the Dragon World with all 7 Dragon Balls, you unlock Babidi's spaceship, where you can take part in challenges to earn enough Kili to unlock more characters such as Dabura and Kid Buu. In terms of graphics, the game is a step up from its predecessor, with the Kamehameha actually being blue this time, characters looking more detailed, and probably the best thing is that they no longer awkwardly open their mouth after a victory.
Hey, don't tell me you intend to fight me!
No, I intend to kill you.
In the beginning I had fun playing Budokai 2, but after a while the combat became repetitive and the Dragon World was way too long, being filled with annoying Cybermen that are boring to fight. While the game makes improvements, these are so small that this feels more like Budokai 1.5 rather than a full-fledged sequel, especially since Budokai 2 uses a lot of the same assets from the first game, with the combos being copied for all returning characters. So only play this game if you are a die-hard Dragon Ball fan, otherwise I'd suggest playing the first or third game in the Budokai series, or check out the even better Dragon Ball FighterZ.
You're toast! Burning attack!